What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Blades with Bill. Today, we're going to be doing a review of the Land 910. Before we get into it, if you've watched this much of the video, do me a huge favor, give me a thumbs up. It's the best thing you can do for mine or any other channel that you watch. If you watch a video for more than 15 seconds, you really should hit the like button. It helps show there's interest in the video, which should help push us up in the algorithm, which should help us get more views, which should help us get more subscribers. But it's also nice because we put a lot of work into this. Some way more than others. Some have way more time to dedicate to it. But definitely. And if you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down, but tell me why. I can't change it if I don't know why. But let's go up close, go over some of the specs, do a size comparison, and then we'll come back up here and I'll give you all my thoughts on it. We have G10 handle scales over steel liners, a not completely deep carry pocket clip, but it is recessed and reversible. Thumb studs, and a 12C27 blade that has a nice high flat grind. Access to the lock bar is incredibly great. And it has a crowned spine, which is something you don't normally find on knives that are under $25. You don't normally find that on knives that are under $150. The jimping is on the spine is nice. It's aggressive enough to know that you're not going to slip, but not so aggressive that it's sharp in any way. And the thumb studs are extremely comfortable to use. And it can be reverse flicked. Has a nice big stop bar that is held in by pins or by screws. And the lanyard tube is blue to give it a little pop of color. The knife weighs 4.47 ounces. Handle thickness is just over 1/2 inch. The thickest part of the blade is just over 1/10 inch. And then behind the edge is about 17 thousandths. So it is not the sliciest blade, but it's not bad. Do a little size comparison real quick. The Civivi Brazen in D2 with the Tanto blade. And the Rat Model 1. Now the land is just a little bit longer in blade than the Civivi, and they're about the same handle length. The rat is bigger in every way. The CJRB Pyrite and the Kaiser Beglighter 2. So as you can see, the land is bigger than the CJRB, but smaller than the Kaiser, but it is taller this way than both. Although blade on the CJRB and the land are pretty close this way. The Spyderco Tenacious and the SRM 7228, which you get a little more handle and just barely more blade out of the land than you do the Spyderco, but the SRM is longer, both handle and blade, but they're all about the same height this way and the handle. And because I realized while I was doing the size comparison that I forgot this, the blade is about 3.5 inches, depending on if you go just to the handle scales or if you go to the pivot. If you go to the pivot, it's about 3 2/3. The handles are a little over 4.25 inches. So the overall length of the knife is about 7 3/4. Go back up top and I'll give you all my thoughts on it. So, give you my thoughts on the Land 910. This may just be the best knife that not that many people know about. It is extremely smooth. It is extremely comfortable. The fact that they actually crown the spine is amazing to me. The lock bar access, I mean, it truly is perfect. It's not so thin that it actually is sharp in any way. Like, it's perfect. It is an absolute perfectly thought out knife. Like, I thought the thumb studs on this, when it came in, I thought those were going to be kind of annoying and uncomfortable. No, they're not. There's enough traction on them that it's easy to flick open, but not so much that it's sharpened anyway. It is astonishing to me that for under 25 bucks, this may be the best knife that. This is definitely one of the best knives that I've handled. Regardless, I would say this is the best budget knife I've handled. 12C 27 is kind of like 14C 27 or 28N, but it's not totally the same. It does respond very well to a strop. It's very easy to sharpen. This has been great. Like, I really didn't want to shoot this video because I don't want to stop carrying this knife. I don't want to move on to the next one yet. But that's kind of what I'm here to do. This is definitely going to be in my, when I'm sitting around and I don't have to have a knife on me for review, this will be one of the knives that I grab. Like, it is insane how well built this knife is. So, and if you don't know, Land is a company. I don't remember if I said it in the first look video that I did to replace the unboxing video that I lost. Land is a company that is owned by Sanrim Yu, who does all of Spyderco's budget 8CR line knives. So if you have a Spyderco that is 8CR, or in this case a Bird, which is Spyderco's budget line, the OEM for them is Sanrim Yu. This is $10 more. This is a slicier knife. The Harrier 2 is way slicier than this. But as far as an actual knife, if I had to choose between these two knives as an everyday knife and only one, I'd rather have this. The blade is a little more robust, a little less likely to chip the tip off of it or anything like that. And it's just insanely well built. For under 25 bucks, for under, doesn't matter. It is incredibly well built. If you've seen these on Amazon, pick them up. It is an incredible knife. I went with this version. I actually got recommended this knife by one of my subscribers, which, thank you very much. You were right. This knife is incredible. He actually recommended the 911. The 911, the 910, the 911, the 912, and 913 are all essentially the same knives. The difference between the 910 and the 911 is green and black G10, and then the 912 and 913 are frame locks instead of liner locks, which is why I went with 910, because it's a liner lock and it's so much easier. Frame locks are nice, but it's just so much easier to not have to worry about where my fingers are and pressing on the lock bar to be able to deploy the knife. This thing is, I mean, it is insanely well built. I still can't. This should not be as cheap as it is. I can think of several knives that I own that cost twice as much as this, that people rave about and say how great they are. This is better. This is way better. This, just go check it out. Seriously, for 25 bucks for a knife, pick one up, find out how incredibly good they are. I thought when this came in and I saw this pocket clip that this was going to be an annoying pocket clip, that it was going to bend real easy. It is way more stout than it looks. It looks like a very thin piece of steel that wouldn't survive. Does a great job. I've caught it a couple times on my office chair, on the arm of my office chair, and it hasn't bent in any way. It just snapped right back to where it's supposed to be. It goes in and out of the pocket very easy. I have one complaint about this knife, and it's the plunge line and choil. I wish they would have done a little more of separation between the choil and the plunge line, the end of the plunge line here, to give you a little more life sharpening this knife. If you're good with a Dremel, you could probably carve in your own, because where the stop pin hits should be far enough back that you should be able to put in a better sharpening choil here if you wanted. It's not something I'm going to do myself, but it is something I know some people would be very willing to do. So that was the only thing I saw as a downside to this knife. That's it. That's the only thing I can complain about. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. I'll leave all my socials in the description, along with my affiliate links. If you want to help me out, help the channel financially, I would truly appreciate it. Use my affiliate links. But otherwise, the best thing you can do truly is just a thumbs up. Have a great day. Stay safe. Peace.